We have the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. This is your Week 11 2024 prediction and preview video. Hit subscribe if you're new. Also, hit the like button. Let's start off with the home team, the Los Angeles Chargers. This team is riding on a 3-game winning streak. And when you look at the Los Angeles Chargers, they've went out there and they've crafted one of the best defenses in the NFL and a very efficient offense as well. Last week, they went out there and they dominated the Tennessee Titans. They won this game 27-17. And on the day, Justin Herbert was very efficient. He went out there. He was 14-18, 164 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown. He also had a rushing touchdown as well in the red zone area. We're starting to see Greg Roman go out there and let Justin Herbert air the football around. But at the same time, they're still running the football. And I expect their rushing attack to get better because Gus Edwards was able to return last week. He's been dealing with an injury over the last month or so, and we saw him lead the team in rushing last week. He had 55 rushing yards on 10 carries. J.K. Dobbins, who has been a superstar this season and one of the best comeback stories in the NFL because he's dealt with injuries in the past, 50 rushing yards on the day for 15 carries. The Chargers in this matchup, they have to win off of time of possession. Limit the offense of the Cincinnati Bengals and play through your offense and through your defense as well. And what do I mean by that? The Chargers have done a great job this season at dominating the line of scrimmage. You have to continue to do it in this game, but it's going to be tough. The Cincinnati Bengals have one of the best pass rushers in the NFL in Trey Hendrickson. It's going to be very interesting to see how Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt both go out there and react to this pressure. But on the season, this may be the best tackle duo in the NFL. The interior of the offensive line of the Chargers has been the sore spot with them on the offensive end in recent memory of this season. But at the same time, the last 3 games, the interior of the offensive line has started to play better. Run the football and establish the run game early in this game. And then you can work off play action and let Justin Herbert go out there and use his legs as well. The one critique I will have with Justin Herbert is to get the football out as quick as possible. The Cincinnati Bengals rushing defense has been solid at times this season. Look at what they did last week to Derrick Henry. Except for a couple of big runs here and there, they did a good job of stopping the run game with him, but they struggled to stop Lamar Jackson. And I'm not saying that Justin Herbert has the same speed of Lamar Jackson. He doesn't, but he has a lot of mobility, and he can go out there and he can cause a lot of havoc to the secondary. So get Justin Herbert on the move as well. Quentin Johnston missed some time this season dealing with an ankle injury, but since he was able to return, he has looked like a true number 1 wide receiver in the NFL. Get him going as well. And you look at what Quentin Johnston was able to do last week. Only 2 catches for 24 receiving yards, but he had 1 receiving touchdown. You have Ladd McConkey as well, who has been Mr. Consistent. He's one of those guys you look at, he's a gym rat. He had a huge play against the New Orleans Saints, and he slid into that number 1 wide receiver position very nicely when Quentin Johnston was out as well. And be on the lookout for Will Dissly in this game. He's a top blocking tight end in the NFL, but they have used him as a receiving tight end this season. He's a dual threat. You also look at another wide receiver this team has. They have Joshua Palmer. They have the weapons to go out there and air the football out. But I can see the Los Angeles Chargers going against the Bengals, trying to slow down that pass rush with Trey Hendrickson. They may throw a lot of screens, and then they'll try to set up some motion to set up the run game with Justin Herbert and crew. You have to go out there and be consistent with the run game and open up the pass game here and there. Take your deep shots, but be very careful with how you take your deep shots in this game and limit the turnovers. Because if you give Joe Burrow multiple opportunities to go out there and score, more times than not, he's going to cash in because he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. When I look at the defense for the Chargers, like I mentioned before, it's one of the best defenses in the NFL. You're not going to go out there and score a lot of points against the Chargers team. I don't care who you are. And history has shown that as well. This is going to be their biggest test so far because you're going against Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and that entire crew. And T. Higgins is questionable for this game. You have to get pressure on Joe Burrow and knock him off his spot. Make them play from behind. That's the key in this game. So then your pass rushers can pin their ears back and they can get after Joe Burrow. Pay attention to what Thule may be able to do in this game. The same with Khalil Mack as well. Those have been 2 very good pass rushers with the Los Angeles Chargers. They also have Joey Bosa. When he's able to stay on the field, he's a phenomenal player as well. And they made life hard for Will Levis last week. They were sitting in his lap. They went back there and they sacked him 7 times on the day. And the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line has been solid this season. But we've seen in the past Joe Burrow Joe Burrow will hold on to the football for too long. And if you have guys on the back end that can cover Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, you could be in a very good situation. But you have to go out there and generate pressure and make this team one-dimensional. Take their run game away. Make them have to play from behind. You pin your ears back and you can get after Joe Burrow. You could be in a very good situation as well, and try to create turnovers. That's one thing the Los Angeles Chargers defense has been very good at doing this season as well. It's going to be very interesting to see what Coach Jesse does. Last week against the Tennessee Titans, they put 3 safeties on the field. And if the Cincinnati Bengals abandon the run game, I can see them going back to that, because essentially Derwin James is basically a mini linebacker. He can go out there and play inside the box. He can play single high safety as well. Pay attention to him and Cam Hart. Christian Fulton has missed the last couple games dealing with an injury, but he should be able to play in this game. Pay attention to that as well, because before he got injured, he looked like a true number 1 cornerback in the NFL. And I think that he can give these wide receivers a lot of problems. You also have Denzel Perryman, and you also have another good safety with this team as well that can go out there and give you a lot of problems. I like what the Chargers have in this matchup, and in my opinion, they are equipped very nicely on the defensive end to go out there and to give the Cincinnati Bengals a lot of problems. Now, let's not sleep on the Cincinnati Bengals, because when you look at the Bengals last week, they were able to take it to the Baltimore Ravens. Even though the Baltimore Ravens have one of the worst passing defenses in the NFL, they were up in this game, but it came down to a Chase Brown fumble that basically turned everything on his head. They lost this game 34-35, and on the day, Joe Burrow looked like a rock star. He was 34 of 56, 428 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns. You may say this is a must-win game for the Cincinnati Bengals, because they're trying to make a playoff push right now. And right now in the seeding, the Los Angeles Chargers are ahead of them. And the same with the Denver Broncos as well. When I look at this matchup, T. Higgins has to be able to play. T. Higgins has missed the last couple of games dealing with an injury. When they have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, easily one of the best offenses in the NFL. And even last week without T. Higgins, Jamar Chase went out there and he looked like one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, because he is. 11 catches for 264 receiving yards, 3 receiving touchdowns. And Chase Brown had 52 receiving yards off of 9 catches. You need to have a guy like T. Higgins come in and play, because he could free up everything. Jamar Chase went out there and he had 17 targets on the day. And even though he put up crazy numbers, that should not be the case. You want to get more out of the other wide receivers in that room. I'm talking about Yoshi Vash in this situation as well, and your big tight end and Mike Gesicki, who has been very good over the last couple of weeks. Go out there, take care of Joe Burrow at the line of scrimmage, and get guys involved early in this game and get the football out quick. This is a fast Chargers defense. They want to knock you off your spot, and they want to put you in uncomfortable situations. It's going to be very interesting to see what Zach Taylor does, try to game plan against this Chargers defense. Like I mentioned before, this defense, in terms of points per game, they're at the top of the NFL. It's going to be hard to go out there and put up a lot of points on this team. That's why the defense has to go out there and they have to hold up their end of the bargain. I have a lot of faith in Joe Burrow going out there and throwing the football around, but the defense has to come up with timely stops. And speaking of the defense, Trey Hendrickson has been the best pass rusher in the NFL this season. He's been phenomenal, but they need more help besides him getting to the quarterback, and they have to get the run stoppers out there as well. Sam Hubbard has to be a key in this game besides Trey Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson was in the backfield all night long last week against Lamar Jackson. The problem was this: Lamar Jackson is so freaking fast, he was able to go out there and bring him down. But when he was able to go back there, he affected him a lot, especially early in the game. When I look at this defense, they have to play better. And I'm talking about the guys in the secondary. You can't let Quentin Johnston and Ladd McConkey get behind you. And you have to generate that pressure up front. The problem is this: against the blitz, Justin Herbert has been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL with Joe Burrow. And Coach Lou has gotten frustrated in the past because besides Trey Hendrickson, when they're not able to get to the quarterback, they're not getting much pass rush. Sam Hubbard is a very good defensive lineman, but he's more so known as a run stopper. Look at what happened against the Washington Commanders. Coach Lou, the defensive coordinator, he got frustrated. He called a lot of zero blitzes. It left cornerbacks in a one-on-one situation. They got burned repeatedly by Terry McLaurin. The same thing can happen in this game as well with a guy like Quentin Johnson and also Joshua Palmer as well. You want to be careful with that. Keep the wide receivers in front of you. And I'm looking at a guy like Cam Taylor-Britt. He has to step up in this matchup. And the same with Geno Stone as well. Geno Stone has been a bit of a disappointment this season. He had 7 interceptions last season, has only had 1 this season. Go out there, dominate the line of scrimmage, and put pressure on Joe Burrow. and press up on these receivers on a every now and then basis. I'm not saying go out there and just play a bunch of off coverage, of course. You can get physical with the wide receivers, but be careful because you're one play away from the Chargers going out there, throwing the football deep down the field, and they would just start to go out there in goal line situations and run the football over and over again, and they'll establish your will, and they'll try to tire out the defense. That's their formula. That's what they have done in the last 3 victories, and that's what they did against the Arizona Cardinals as well on the Monday Night Football game. If it wasn't for Jalen Reagor fumbling the football on that 43-yard catch, maybe they go out there and they win that football game. But with that being said, the Bengals are in a do-or-die situation, in my opinion. They can afford some more losses, but they can't afford too many losses. When I look at the Chargers, they have the defense. They have Coach Harbaugh. They're riding high right now. They are the home team. I'm going to take the Los Angeles Chargers to win this game. And I think the Los Angeles Chargers come out on top 24-20. But let me know in the comment section below, who do you have winning this game, the Los Angeles Chargers or the Cincinnati Bengals? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, I want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.